With new permits being filed for the Ratatouille attraction coming to Epcot, we'll get into more details about this new addition to the France Pavilion up next. Hi there Waltoners, I'm Jack, this is DSNY Newscast, and I didn't say it last time but I'll say it this time. Go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, and also if you're not aware of it already, go ahead and check out Universal Newscast for everything to do with Universal Studios news. And with that being said, now let's get right on into the news. So it dawned on me recently, with all of the coverage which I provided earlier this year on D23 Expo, there was one announcement which I've hardly mentioned on DSNY Newscast, and that's the Ratatouille attraction which is going to be coming to the France Pavilion in Epcot. As you see, recently there has been this permit filing, which was spotted by blogmickey.com, which I'll put a link to the article down below in the description box. But within this permit, it indicates that the Ratatouille attraction is going to be a relatively quick build for Walt Disney World, as it doesn't have an expiration date on the permit, which often means that this preliminary work will be carried out in the next year. Although there have been insiders that have previously stated that this attraction isn't set to open until at least late summer of 2020. However, given that the work is about to begin on this site, and the fact that the ride should be a near replica of the version that we see over in Disneyland Paris's Walt Disney Studios park, then it's quite possible that it might be completed sooner than 2020. And adding more of a line of reasoning to this is that we can see, thanks to this photo from BioReconstruct, that preparation work has already begun on the area at the back of the pavilion. But within all of this, there has been one thing that hasn't been discussed so far, and that's how the Ratatouille attraction will affect the rest of the pavilion, as it had been rumoured before that the ride's entrance would be from within the existing France Pavilion, which made us all question the future of the theatre of Impressions de France. Well, I can now confirm that no shops, restaurants, or even Impressions de France will be removed to make way for this attraction, as it has now been clearly depicted by inside sources that Disney will be building a new courtyard area at the back of the pavilion that will be easily accessible from around the side and the corner of the pavilion. And upon further inspection of the concept art that was released at D23 Expo, you can clearly see that the forced perspective Eiffel Tower that sits at the back of the pavilion is very prominent within this new concept art. And also not to mention that much of the side and the back of this building is already themed to some degree as well, which will make it an awful lot easier for Disney to build this courtyard at the back. However, it does strike me as a little bit odd that Disney are deciding to build this new courtyard area around the back of the existing pavilion, as it would have been a lot cheaper for Disney just to repurpose the Impression de France into the entrance for this new Ratatouille attraction, where they could then build a connecting building to go at the back of this current building. So maybe this means that Disney has other plans for the Impressions de France space. And also another reason for why Disney might be doing this is because this new Ratatouille courtyard area will be extremely visible to all guests on the Disney Skyliner route into and out of the International Gateway station for the gondola service. And lastly for today, there has been one thing for the past 24 hours which has been dominating the news cycle everywhere. You can't avoid it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. And that is that the final full Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer has finally been released, showing us all new footage that clearly depicts that this will be a much darker episode installment than The Force Awakens. But apparently Mark Hamill has said previously that this film won't follow the traditional formula of the previous two trilogies, which was a complaint that many people had about The Force Awakens when it was released being too similar to A New Hope. However, hopefully The Last Jedi will break the mold and go in a new and surprising direction for this trilogy. And I suppose we haven't got long, as we've only got 66 more days until we can find out whether Mark Hamill was telling the truth or not. But in my opinion, I personally think that the Snoke and Skywalker storyline will take greater precedence in the final episode of this trilogy, as they are clearly wanting to go more in depth about the story behind the Jedi and the ancient past of the Force. And they might even be setting up to explain the origin of the Jedi and the Force in a completely new trilogy sometime in the future. future, as we already know that Bob Iger has said that the plan is to have a new Star Wars movie come out every year within the foreseeable future. And yes, they've got their standalone movies to focus on, but they also have so much of a Star Wars backstory that they could explore. And if that's not enough, we've also received this stunning new movie poster reveal for The Last Jedi that really plays up the dark tone and emergence of the dark side within this current trilogy, as we've seen Snoke for the first time in the flesh in the presence of Rey in the trailer. But we'll surely learn more about Snoke's past and the powers that he possesses in this movie. But now, it's over to you, Walt and Iz. I would love to hear your suggestions for what other Disney movie property which was set in France would you rather see incorporated into the France Pavilion at Epcot, as there have been plenty of different Disney movies which have been set in France in the past, and also what other type of attraction or experience would you bring to the pavilion. And also don't forget to leave the Hidden Mickey timestamp as usual along with your suggestion to be in with a chance to win a DSNY Newscast pin. And congratulations to Jonathan for winning with this suggestion from the previous video discussing the Marvel rides which are going to be coming to Disney parks around the world, and also the new swinging ride system that Disney have patented. And so don't forget to go ahead and subscribe down below, hit that notification icon, and also whilst you're at it, give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help us out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.